Fanatically Correct. Brought to you by us, fans like you, but mostly us.
I wasn't totally focused in there or anything, but I'm pretty sure that mom was trying to bang her son.
Wait, the hot chick was Alex P. Keaton's mom?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
But they're the same age.
No, but he went back in time.
Then why is it called Back to the Future?
He has to go back to the future because he's in the past. So the future is actually the present, which is his time.
What?
In a dark corner of the world, three men will work together to bring you a podcast like no other. This is Fanatically Correct, where the fans, the geeks, and the nerds are always correct. With your host, MSK, Yo Peace, and Omega.
I love how you ask somebody, it's like, hey, so you seen Stranger Things? And they just kind of look at you and you give each other that look and you're just like, turn around and look at what you see. Well, that song's making a comeback.
That song's
making a comeback.
Yep.
That song's definitely making a comeback.
Yeah, I think we'll jump forward to that at the end because I think unless you guys, either one of you has a
Well, we're going to talk about that scene toward the end because it's one of the last scenes.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Oh, there it is again. There it is again.
I am your host, Omega.
MSK?
Yo, peace.
And we're going to talk Stranger Things, seasons 1, 2, and 3. I do want to start, because MSK and I were talking about earlier today, and kind of Yo Peace and I too, and I think everyone's talking with their friends, like, the whole thing with Stranger Things, like, it kind of, I mean, obviously not kind of, but it's like totally made, it's 80s nostalgia made for adults that were kids in that era. Because obviously there's a lot of more cursing in Stranger Things than there were in The Goonies and Stand By Me and Lost Boys. Well, actually, Stand By Me had a good amount of cursing in it, but Stephen King would expect. But Lost Boys, Monster Squad. Monster Squad was a good one. I think that's an underrated one.
It is.
Yeah, it was alright.
Flight of the Navigator.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite one right there, man. I'm not even gonna
Flight of the Navigator. That's a
Flight
great one.
of the Navigator.
That's because of the ship. The ship is dope.
Yes,
my favorite.
The ship is awesome, and the whole AI and the
yeah.
That's an awesome movie. Sarah Jessica Parker, right? Is the blonde, the young blonde that's helping him out.
Was that her?
Yeah, I think that's Sarah. Yeah, that's Sarah Jessica Parker.
Man, I don't remember. That's
a great
crazy.
Movie. Little Monsters, remember that one? Little Monsters, another one. Like, yeah, I think Goonies like really stood out and still to this day stands out. Stand By Me because of the dramatic part of it. But
yeah.
I think like Monster Squad, like underrated. Lost Boys is the Coreys. But Flight of the Navigators under the radar. E.T. Spielberg, so of course that's a big one. Little Monsters underrated, and that's like if Kid Fred Savage, that was way better than The Wizard or anything.
Yeah, I don't remember Little Monsters at all. Actually,
really? Oh man,
you should go back. You should go back. It's actually good.
I'm trying to remember now, but he was really good. That was a very different movie. If you haven't seen that, that's a good one. That's actually a very good 80s nostalgia. Well, it's not nostalgia. It's actually made in the 80s. So same thing. That's a really underrated one. Labyrinth. That's of course a great one. Explorers. Yeah. Explorers is another one. River Phoenix. Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke.
Man, some good ones, and that's another one that's like super underrated. And the alien in that one.
Well, the Explorers got cheesy with the aliens.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
it did. It totally did.
But it's made for kids, and like that's what I'm saying. Like Stranger Things is taking all the things we remember about the '80s kids stuff that we loved, and then making it for us now. It's family friendly. It's not like a lot of sexual content like that, but they do make it more adult content because they know that they're making it for people between the ages of 28 and 45. You know what I mean? Like people who are kids.
It's for us. It's for our generation.
Because like that, we were talking about the song from the Neverending Story, which is another one that's a great one from the '80s that. If no one's seen that, like my wife actually never saw it, so that's a whole conversation that Yo Peace is gonna force her to watch it.
It's happening. It's happening. I don't care.
She's arguing that it's not.
But it's happening. It's happening.
Gotta happen.
She's never seen it at all.
No,
deprived childhood. She's never.
Who has never sat down and seen Never-Ending Story?
She's like, I was dying and she didn't understand why I was laughing so much in that scene. When it does
and you know what? I can get you not watching Never Ending Story too. I can get that one.
Yeah.
But the first one? Come on.
I mean, I've seen that movie. I mean, it's not one of my favorites though, but I've seen it at least.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I was thinking about this, even though I'm gonna bring up Karate Kid for a second, even though it doesn't really, it's not really a coming of age or whatever. But it's kind of this is something I was thinking about. I was talking about MSK. I got to meme this on the Instagram or something somehow. But I was saying like 4 of my biggest villains of childhood were obviously that wolf thing, Gamork or whatever, of the darkness of Neverending Story.
Yes.
And then of course Jareth, Darkness, which is the big devil thing in Legend.
Oh my
Tim
goodness,
Curry.
that was 10.
And then of course, you know, Sweep the Leg, Johnny from Karate Kid. And I was thinking like if I had to pick like 4 tell all about my childhood villains, those are my 4 villains. But one of them, the Darkness, the devil, Tim Curry definitely became like one of my all-time favorite actors.
Awesome.
True comedian,
Yes.
He's awesome.
right there. David Bowie, one of my all-time favorite musicians, like just an incredible musician, performer, songwriter, singer. Johnny from Karate Kid with the whole Cobra Kai thing is like the most redeemed character ever of all time.
It's true.
Because that's he's like, I actually love him. I root for him. But, you know, I'm sorry, MSK's have to bleep me again, but that thing from the Neverending Story, fuck that thing, all right? We have to watch that horse die.
Yeah,
all right?
no,
Atreyu
for real.
losing that horse, one of the most emotionally breaking, because this is one of the things I was describing to my wife about what makes the Neverending Story such a, like, huge movie. Like, if you take away all the cheesiness and the flying dog and all that.
A lot of cheesiness.
But the drama, the kid lost his mom. Exactly. The kid lost his mom. He's getting bullied. He's stuck in this thing reading this book. The book itself is about this princess. Their whole world is dying. This poor kid, you know what I mean, is having to you know, basically fight the universe and save this princess. Loses his horse, you know, and that's like, man, I that's probably one of the most hardcore deaths I could think. I mean, if I watch it again now, it's a little dated. But that was definitely one of the most.
No, that scene is still amazing, and it still gets me. I don't know. I don't care what anybody says. That scene is still crazy.
Yeah.
It is. The way he's screaming to I think they actually lost that horse. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Like in real life.
You know what? It was the 80s. It was the 80s. I don't know where they filmed that. They might have filmed that in another country where it's okay.
Yeah.
So like there's no PETA. There's no PETA. So for the sake of filmmaking, oh man, that's even more depressing.
Yeah, I think that actually happened because if you look at the scene, that horse is actually drowning in there. I don't know what's happening, but there's a real horse in that scene.
It's like at the end of that movie, in the credits, it says, for dramatic purposes, all animals filmed in the scene were harmed during the filming.
Oh my God.
We never saw it. We never saw that one.
Nightmare. Oh man, that's heartbreaking, man. And it's like, well, I mean, in fairness, you know, spoilers on everything we're gonna talk about in this episode. He comes back at the end. You know what I mean? Everything gets fixed. And
Yes, but that was before. You know how they film. You know how they film, right? They kill.
You know,
that's the second horse. That's the second horse.
I'm gonna say it was like Groot. It was like Groot. That was he didn't get the same horse back. He got another version of the horse.
Definitely not.
Oh man. So yeah, but anyways, those Stranger Things. I just had to point that out.
Yeah, before we get sidetracked.
Yeah, so I mean, let's get on. So what are we going to start with? Go in order, chronological, seasons 1, 2, and 3, or?
Sure.
I'm fine with just. I mean, yeah, we could do a little bit of the first two seasons, but
just a little bit of,
so
of each.
Just a quick recap.
You know what? I'm a glutton for punishment because I actually got you guys to just kind of whiz right through unless you're holding back for later in the end. But I'm going to defend it and say that Land Before Time is still a coming of an age movie. That's
okay. Hey,
yeah,
listen.
yeah,
it's on the list.
I mean, I don't
It's on
see
the
the similarities to Land Before Time and Stranger Things is really just point A, point B. Like they're just traveling to places.
I think. Hey man, nah, man. I think that the Mind Flayer was like the T. Nah, I'm not gonna defend this or whatever. It made the list.
No, you can defend it. Listen. Defend it. Yeah. Listen, Linda. Listen. Just defend it.
Just defend it. Just defend it.
This is your moment right here.
Plucky is
just
like
know that
the
you're
Dustin.
wrong.
Plucky's like the Dustin, and then like you know, like I guess the 11. Remember the Triceratops was the toughest one of them. That's I don't remember her name, but the female. So like 11 and like.
Yeah.
I just think kind of did the same thing. You followed this group of friends on their own kid journey. Again, the parents, where are they? Like, yeah, you know what? The parent thing. That's something I was talking about MSK earlier today. That is being totally captured by Stranger Things. That
Perfectly.
All those movies have in common. Where are these parents?
Yeah.
They never know where their kid is.
They have no idea what the kids are doing.
Maybe 3 of the movies out of that list at the end.
Was the
parents
80s.
are like, "Oh, where were you this
That was
whole
the
time?
80s,
I've been
man.
looking
That
for
was the
you."
80s. You grew up in the 80s.
sure.
That was the 80s.
For real.
Different times.
Why'd you single him out? Why'd you single him out like that?
Well.
Stop
But listen,
it.
no,
Stop
but
it,
listen.
all right?
Before
Stop
we
it,
go on,
baby, MSK,
before we go on,
all right?
I'm gonna be
Baby,
honest.
baby.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't remember that much Land Before Time. I remember watching it a couple of times, but it's not like a thing that I can tell you. I remember exactly what you're saying.
Early 80s.
Yeah, that's how I feel. That's how I feel about that Never Ending Story. Like I saw it when I was a kid, but like it wasn't one of my favorites.
But you recognize that song
right
away.
For sure, 100%. As soon as they sang that song, I'm like, wow, I haven't heard that in years.
Yeah.
But it's just so funny because they're all bust and like everything about that scene with Winona Ryder's character, she's like banging her head against the wall.
Yeah.
While
Hopper is completely shocked. He's like,
Hopper's like,
what?
You gotta be kidding me. And I couldn't believe that Lucas' sister didn't stop all that from happening.
Yeah.
Which is by far, I gotta point that out in season 3, my favorite character this season is Lucas's little sister.
Yeah.
She had me dying, man.
Yeah,
like,
she's
everything
great.
came out of her mouth.
You know what I love about this season? Like what I love, the thing they did the most is they took every type of genre in the 80s and they mixed it up. So you got like that Terminator feel from that Russian guy.
Yes.
You got the Adventures of Babysitting with Steve and his crew, which was great.
Yeah.
I think that was the best part of the whole show. And then you still have the Stand By Me type scenario with the kids, the main group of kids.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they have the buddy cop thing with Hopper and
Investigating.
Joyce.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so true.
So they did a great job with that.
And the Terminator one was blatant.
Blatant, very.
Like they made the Russian talk almost like a German. You know what I mean? Like he had an accent, like total. I'll be back. And even the part he gets shot and he's wearing. Of course, he's wearing Kevlar.
Oh,
which
I knew
is
that.
So 80s.
I knew
it's
that.
like, why are you shooting the guy in the chest? Shoot him in the head.
Yeah, exactly.
You know he's wearing Kevlar.
Exactly.
No, but I thought they balanced that out very well with the different cast members and how they teamed them up. I know we talked about team ups with Avengers. I think the team up they did with Stranger Things with the different kids with who's with who. The pairing is great. It's perfect.
It worked out very good.
It was really good.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you some breakout before we get into the actual story and definitely individually because we're talking about things that we like, you know, our favorite things, characters like that. The performance by what's his name? The brother, you know,
Billy.
Billy. Wow, like they did such great casting on this show because characters who have smaller parts, you know, in one season, they really break out. Like this season, I get it. A lot of people are complaining that they underutilized Will because he's a great actor. That
was my complaint.
But he was huge last season.
He was huge, and I think he should have won an Emmy or
Golden
Globe or something. Because
but it's time to move on. It's time to move on and give other people their time.
Exactly. And I think Billy
it worked
was incredible.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it worked out. It worked
amazing.
out. I just feel like they set up early on his story of how he's kind of like secluded of the rest of the group, and they didn't really build up with him too much throughout the season until the very end.
But he was actually warning them.
Yeah, he was warning them.
Yeah, he was warning them, but I'm saying like they built out how he felt like secluded, like he felt alone, and they didn't really touched up on his character too much until the very end when you see him and Mike patch things up and you know. But
I see what you
his
mean.
His acting from season 2 was incredible, and I think they could have done more with him.
I mean, in fairness, all in this season, I'm not sure what the time frame. I know season 1 had a little bit more of a time span. It was like weeks, and I think season 2 was the same thing because 11 even left and came back weeks. Where this one was within 2 to 3 days. You know what I mean? Like this was like a more shorter time span. So because of that,
we don't know.
No, I don't think it was 2 or 3 days. It was between season 2 and 3.
No. I'm not talking about in between season 2 and 3. I'm talking about the time span of season 3 was taking place with it like in 3 days, where season 1 was weeks and season 2 was weeks, and season 3 was only like a 3-day time.
I would say
span.
like a week, about a week time period.
Also, we don't know
remember,
exactly.
the whole Russian thing. There were only 24 hours down there for the whole Russian.
Yes, but we don't know about the intro of the Russian and the outro. Aspect of it.
That's true. Yeah,
so
that was
you don't know
actually.
really.
No, yeah, there was a time span there. There was months because it was the whole building of the mall because they failed and the guy told you have a year and they failed and then they built the whole mall on top of it. So and the whole mall thing was hilarious. Just everything in the Back to the Future in the theater.
Oh my god, that scene that scene was great because as soon as they started playing Back to the Future in the background, I started quoting the movie. And my wife is like, "Are you serious? Are you really doing this right now?" While we're watching Stranger Things, and I'm quoting the whole movie of Back to the Future in the background.
You can't help it.
I can't. I have to.
No, I love it. Everyone, I always go to that joke like, I think that kid's mom is trying to bang him.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. Yep.
It's awesome,
dude. And it was so sad because finally got a break from that. Steve won a fight, like finally.
I know.
And then he's getting tortured later, beating the piss out of him. The poor kid, man. Like, really telling the truth too. Like, didn't matter. They're busting.
That group was awesome.
Open.
I thought that team up was great, man.
Great dynamic. Lucas's sister with Dustin and Steve, and I love it. Like, it's Dustin and Steve, like all the stuff that they know about already, and they're like dropping back, like, actually, like, what are you guys talking about over there?
Yeah, that duo, so that group is so good. I think that they can actually feed off of that and make another show if they really wanted to.
Yeah, they had to. It worked
so
so well. Yeah, it worked so well in season 2, the Steve and Dustin relationship. They're like, yeah, we're setting this up so it's the two of them against her, because they knew just everyone enjoyed it so much. And I actually like the switch off of 11 with what's her name now, the redhead,
with Max.
With Max, I like that switch off, and then we got more of a different Lucas with Will and the whole thing,
Mike,
like,
and
Mike, and like you were saying about the the separation because they have girlfriends and he doesn't, and he's more into the Double Dragon, so which is going to be interesting now when they come back because there is going to be a season 4, right? I guess that's
for sure.
Yeah, and then I guess the theory is that's going to be the last season, and season 4.
Yeah, and I hope it is. I hope one more season. I think they're good, man.
Yeah, because they're now growing, and again, that's what brings in the nostalgia, is the whole kid story as the main center with the adults circulated around it. But it's going to be interesting to see the dynamic that they start from, where 11's been living with, like, and actually I agree with the memes. Like, Joy is definitely the villain by the end of the season, because like, why would you move these kids? Like, what?
And you can't communicate like we can now because we have the internet, we have phones, we have everything. You know,
they
once they leave their town, they're not going to talk to each other.
They have Cerebro, so
yeah.
But I just hope they don't do the Dawson's Creek 90210 whatever, and like now Will and 11 have a thing, and and then that messes it up for Mike, because now they're like, I just hope they don't go that route. I don't think they will.
I don't think so. No,
but I just really hope no one even comes. I
just hope they don't. I don't know why they will.
No, I don't think they will. I
don't think so either. I think the writers on the show are good writers. You know what I mean? Like, they don't. Yeah. They think things through. They're fans of their own work.
I mean, they set it up. They set it up that they could do that, because exactly. Mike is like, it's not my fault that you don't like girls.
Yeah.
And Will to take his girl the next season, it would be like the biggest fu.
That's funny.
It'd be crazy.
And poor Will. Side note, because he had it the worst of everyone else. And I've talked about this with Yopies. All right, I don't know about you all in the 80s. We live in South Florida. It's really hot, way hotter. They film in Georgia, but where they come on, we never wore shorts that short, man. Like, not even my bathing suits are that short. I mean, that's happening. That's starting to happen a lot now, because you have like the whole fraternity guy style with the really short shorts, the floral pattern or whatever. But in the 80s as kids, nah, man, we didn't. No, we were 1960s basketball players. It was not.
Well, that's one thing, man. These kids, they got through puberty. Like, puberty hit them hard, man.
Yeah,
this season.
They're all big. They're all really tall.
Will and Mike's voice dropped hard. I'm like, man, these are the little kids from season 1. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Like, it's
bunch of Bran Starks tower by the next season.
I want to bring one thing up. I listened to the coverage that we did of Stranger Things 2 years ago, the first season.
Yes,
and good for you, man. He's our research department.
I want to bring up the part where Omega brought up how in that season they kept making Barb a big deal.
Yeah.
This season,
they did.
Why is this Alexei guy so huge? This season?
Yes,
he's huge right now.
No idea.
They're doing the same thing. They're blowing up a character that doesn't
need to be blown up. And I'm like, yeah, he's there. He's good comic relief. They killed him. Spoiler alert. I mean, we already did the spoiler alert, but
yeah.
I mean, what is it with people just getting these characters?
But you know what? Like, at least this guy had more lines than Barb.
For sure. Yeah, he did
more significance.
So I could see people. I could see people liking him because he's the guy that didn't even know the language, and they had this bond together. They had a couple of scenes.
Yeah, that's true.
He had a couple of lines, but Barb. What did Barb do?
No,
Barb didn't do anything.
This guy helped save the world. You know what I mean? He actually told them how to destroy the device.
Exactly.
And all that helpful information. Barb did nothing.
That's true. Well, they did it last season also with what is it, Bob? Sean Ashton's.
What if the American is Barb?
But what?
What if the American is Barb?
Oh my God! Stop it!
In the
Stop it!
It's the Harper Barb.
Stop! No, we saw Barb's body. We saw Bob's body.
But we don't
Barb's
know
body,
because they brought back the Demogorgon.
She's dead.
So I don't know.
no.
She's dead. No, but every season there's one character. Every season there's one character they build up, and last season I think it was warranted because he was kind of heroic in that one scene.
Yeah.
But this year, like the Lexi's character, I mean, he's a comic relief. It's not.
Yeah. He's the
like,
plucky comic relief that just gets.
But he wasn't bad. He wasn't a bad character though. Like,
no, he wasn't. He wasn't.
No.
It's just
But
like the
he's just
meme
not a
culture is blowing him up right now.
Usually that's what happens with these side characters. But again, he had more lines than Barb, so I don't mind this
For
one.
sure.
I do mind Barb by far. Like I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
care.
That was annoying. What about Barb? What about her?
What about her?
What about it? Yeah, that was annoying.
What about her?
That was annoying.
Going through the order, I mean, it started great. I mean, and it was so well written, man. You start with that whole relationship of like when he's threatening Will in the car and everything.
Yeah.
And I mean,
was good.
and not Will, Mike.
Mike.
And let me turn out, like, I don't, like, well, Mike should have gotten punched in the face, man. I don't know, like, there was no way,
was trying, man. He
my
was
12,
trying.
13-year-old butt was going to talk to an adult that's also a cop, a police officer, and calling him, a piece of, crap and all this stuff. And like, oh, man, you were lucky. You're not getting your face pricked through the side glass right now, kid.
Yeah.
But I mean, just the whole circle that they went through was setting that all up of him uncomfortable with them always together because now he, the usual father-daughter type of relationship when the girl's getting older and starts dating or whatever. And the whole thing with, him with Joy and she's helping him write the letter, for that to come all
With
the
Joyce,
way back.
yeah, the
At
full
end,
circle.
I almost don't want Harper to come back. Like, I really hope he's not the American in the cell because I think that was such a great finish and it had so much emotion to it.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, it was a watery eye moment for sure. I just like the writing with that the way they went from episode 1 came back to episode
course.
8. And they also realized that 8 is the perfect number. 8 episodes from season 1, great. 8 episodes from season 2, great, because that other one does not count. And then 8 did like, let's not throw in that crappy 9th episode.
Oh, that's
We'll
right.
just
I
do 8
completely forgot about
episodes.
that.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll just stick with 8.
Some people
8
like that
works.
one. People like that one more than others. So,
Yeah, people who wanted to see a spin-off of that garbage. And
Yeah.
where did that go?
Yeah, what happened? How come nobody talks about those kids?
Yeah,
Where did
they
go?
sold some T-shirts at Hot Topic.
Because that
of it, that's about it.
episode didn't do well. That's why it was a backdoor spin-off. They were gonna do a spin-off
was.
for sure, but
Yeah.
I guess it never took off.
But yeah, take it away. Something like season 1, like I was saying, like just it's a mind-blowing series right out the gate. Just it blew everyone's mind. Like, what are some of your favorite moments from season 1 other than Barb?
I think just the feel of season 1, and I think even though season 2 and 3 are great, the feeling of season 1, but since it was like the first season and we hadn't had this for such a long time, that they captured the 80s feel perfectly, that made it so great. Like, it was incredible.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, it was like, wow, what is this? This reminds me of the stuff
So
I used to
many
watch
things.
when I was a kid. Yeah.
The theme music and just the title,
Everything.
just the opening sequence.
Yeah,
and
even the way
title
that it's
screen
shot,
and
like
Yeah.
they added, like, I don't know what they did, but I feel like they added more grain. Like,
Yeah.
it felt film, like real film. It wasn't like digital. Like it felt good. Like, I don't know, man. It felt like the old style of movies and
yeah.
season 1 was great right off the gate. Like, every episode in
Like
season 1
1
was
definitely gave me more of the ET vibe. I mean, 11 being the ET pretty much. And then the horror came into play, but it was a lot of the ET vibe of this special,
Yeah.
being basically, and having to hide him from, her, from all the adults and from our family and from friends because they won't understand. And I mean, I gotta throw back, like, I think the person who did that really well, and that might have been what kind of influenced Stranger Things, is what was it? The film 8mm or something. The Super 8. Super 8.
Super, that was
Steven Spielberg.
yeah.
Super 8.
What are we talking about, guys?
Hey, well, yeah, that's
Completely
the
different
lickers. Yeah, that's nothing like that. Nowhere near this genre.
Yeah.
But
I don't know what Stranger Things series you were watching.
yeah,
but-
well, there was Stranger Things in that movie. I can tell you that right now. But
And I want to mention one movie that it's actually one that I thought about while watching Stranger Things was Attack the Block.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've only seen parts of it. I haven't watched it all the way through. But I know what you're talking about. It's aliens, right? That they come on the into the neighborhood?
but that's one of the first. one of the first ones that I remember John Boyega to be in it.
Yeah.
and it's actually a good movie. Like it has that type of feel because it has that bond together, kids bonding together to do
the
something.
friendship. Yeah.
Yep. So it's actually a good movie, and that's what I thought about watching actually season 1 of Stranger Things.
It gives you that nostalgia. I'll tell you right now, there's one that's out now. It's basically kind of, I don't think it takes place in the 80s or anything though, but it's that same coming of age, kids coming together to take on a big bad or whatever. I think it's called The Edge of the Universe or the Rim of the World or something like that. It's a new Netflix film.
That's a Netflix one. Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, that they just filmed also, and that one looks it's on my queue. I haven't watched it because obviously Stranger Things came first, and then we had Dark, which we got to review that too because
Dark that's gonna take some details on Dark.
Yeah, because that's deep. Yeah, that's like a lot of thought provoking. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, I get that. Like, it just everything. I mean, that's what just makes Stranger Things so great. And I think season 1, like, they really set that pace. They never moved away from it. In season 2 and 3, I think season 2, that one episode that I definitely did. It was like an attempt at like an 80s version of the X-Men or something. They maybe were trying.
They really were trying to push hard on the spinoff, and honestly, that's the only episode from the whole 3 seasons that I did not like at all.
And I personally didn't mind it. I just thought I did think that it took away from the actual story, so there was no need for it. And I do see where they were trying to do a spin-off off of it, sort of, but they could have given you that at some other time, maybe towards the end or something, instead of like being such in the middle.
It was so blatant. It was blatant. That's what it was.
That's the point. That's the only reason that I minded, that I didn't really understand why they did it this way, but I didn't mind it in the sense of it didn't really do anything less.
It didn't break the season for me at all. And in fairness, it's a lot better than like other episodes of other shows. You know what I mean? Like, it's still like if you compare it to a bad show's best episode, it's probably still better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I mean, for the past 2 seasons of Walking or Fear of the Walking Dead, it's better.
And the problem also is that they gave you that, right? They gave you that in the middle of the season, and up to now they haven't even referenced anything of it. So it's almost like it's something that's actually in a way might hurt them if someone actually liked that episode and wants more of it. You know what I mean? In that sense,
never revisit it.
In that sense, you're hurting the story. So you should have just done something else. Just or released it later on instead of just putting it in part of the season. But that's just what happened with it.
Yeah. But you know what? At least they did it for one season. One episode. At least they didn't do it like a couple of episodes. It was really just that one episode. It was like, all right,
just a complete.
What is this? Yeah.
And I'll talk what I was talking about earlier. And noticing that episode was a break, but the rest of the season, like, it was a lot like season 1 in the sense that Dustin had the, what do they call it? The demi-dogs.
The demi-dogs, yeah.
Well, it was almost like what I was talking about earlier with 11 in season 1. Then he had the demi-dogs in season 2. Season 3 really didn't have that E.T.
The feel.
It didn't have that part. But then again, all the kids are older now, and they're diving more into the horror. And then they added, like we said, newer genres, the Russian bad guy genre,
they
the
added
Terminator genre. So they kind of went ahead and strayed away from that. But I will say, and I'm guessing MSK, I'm pretty sure season 1's your favorite season of the 3 is pretty much what you're sticking by.
Yeah, it's still my favorite one.
It is. I'll ask Yopi's his in a second. I'm just going to say mine actually is season 3. I will say barely over season 1 because it's almost like Star Wars Empire, and then Empire Strikes Back, is that without the first, you can't have, where we are now. Right. But I love the pace of season 3. Like, it just got right to it. I mean, right to it. I mean, within a blink of an eye, they had Billy in the sauna, and that whole fight happened, and Hopper was already. It was like so quickly paced that it just dove. I mean, only the first episode felt, which that's how the first episode should be, felt like a setup, where it just kind of felt to me there was a lot of setup happening in season 1 and 2 to then get a lot of stuff in the last couple episodes.
No, I didn't. I didn't really get that. I felt like the setup for this season, it took a little while. Like,
really,
I felt like things didn't really pick up until like episode 4. Episode 4 for me. I mean, not that it's bad. It was good. It was still a good setup and everything, but I didn't feel it as fast as you did.
I will say, because you're talking about 4 episodes. Which episode was it where I dump your ass? What was that like?
I think that's around episode 4.
Or I think it's
around
like
3 or 4,
maybe 2 or 3. But I will say this: like, can they make up their minds though with 11? Sorry, I want to be that guy a little bit because everyone says that we love everything, and I don't love everything. You know what I mean? But I love most of it.
Wait a minute, you're a fan, sir. You love everything.
I do love most of it, but I will say, like, I don't get why sometimes she talks totally normal. And then, like, with that, like, you know, I dump your ass. Like, the way she said it, like, very, like, almost cavemanish. And there's a few times where you see that where they try to go back to season 1, 11, and then she's, like, totally fluently talking, like, you know.
Well, I don't think she's fluently. I don't think she's fluently talking. I think there are certain things that she cannot express as a regular kid. And that's why I dump your ass sounds funny. But
it was
to
funny.
us,
No, it is funny. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
You laugh at it, but then you realize, like, why she say it that way?
Well, because she doesn't have the sayings, like the sayings when it comes to like actual kids saying
slang. I feel like
she doesn't have that. Like she never grew up in like a regular kid in the 80s, so she doesn't get all those main reference slang things that you hear. So I think that's what happens with her.
All right. You convinced me. I love everything.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on.
No, but you know, even when she's talking normal, I guess I didn't feel like she was talking like the other kids.
Well, not
I
fluently.
Still feel like she was still like 11.
Definitely not fluent.
I don't know. I felt that she progressed a lot. You know, which I'm fine. Well,
it's been one extra year for her. So yes, she's progressed because she's been able to. Have friends, watch more TV. That's what we did, right? We sit down and we watch TV.
Which I wish we would have gotten more of her and Hopper like hanging out watching TV, because that was a huge thing in the letter when they're reading. Like that's a big, you know, thing that they used to do.
But I mean, they did. I mean, hint at it and talk about it, because remember he even told when he was trying to set up the date with Joy, and he's like, "Well, I have to be home by 10 because that's when we watch." I forgot what it was he said together. So I have to be
Miami Vice on Friday.
Yeah, exactly.
They hinted it toward the end of the season though, and they didn't show it. Like I would have liked to see them hanging out more, like to get that feeling that father-daughter.
That, man, but it's eight episodes, man.
8 episodes.
No,
episodes.
I know.
I just wish. I mean, this show deserves 13. This is one of those shows. I don't usually say that.
Not even 13, maybe 10.
Yeah.
10 episodes.
This is one of those shows. I don't usually say that about shows because I think less is better. And in
fairness, we got like 10 of Jessica. Well, no, I didn't think it was more than that. Like 12 or 13 of Jessica Jones.
Of what?
And
no one saw it.
And what's the other one?
I couldn't
hear
I'm just
you. Saying in general, not just this last season.
I think I didn't hear you. You said something, but I didn't care. Just kidding. I'm just kidding, man.
Which means he definitely heard me.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. It's just Jessica Jones. I really don't care about Jessica Jones, to be honest.
No, I mean, but in general, like a lot of them that went downhill, even Luke Cage and Iron Fist and all that, they got a bunch of episodes. Like, you guys definitely could be 8 episodes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, less is better most of the time, especially for American TV. There's something about American TV. Give me less and write it correctly, write it better. But as far as this one deserves, like this type of show, I think deserves a little bit more just for you, MSK, so you can have like your little, hey, I want to see this. I want to be able to experience that as a viewer, and I get it. I do understand that.
I just felt it would have added more to Hopper's supposed death and that letter that she reads later.
So you're saying you didn't cry?
So you're
saying you didn't cry? You're gonna say you didn't cry?
I'm saying that I could have cried a little bit more.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
He's saying that life is stressful. He needs a good cry, and that didn't get him there.
Not just a little teary-eyed situation. I needed a good,
like full on, like, you know, like depression cry.
That was great, man. That was a great letter. It was. That whole scene was awesome.
It's so well done. I mean, and
gave me a Spider-Man cry.
Well, and in season 2 did it very well with what's his name? With Sam Astin's character.
Bob, was it Bob? I feel like it was Bob.
Yeah, Bob. It was Super Bob, right? I think it was. Yeah.
Super Bob.
With the thing, and even the way they referenced him at the beginning of this season. Which, did you at all maybe think there was a ghost thing going on before they got into that whole?
No,
thing?
No, not at all.
I was worried. I'm like, this guy. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, nah, that's coincidence, and this has got to be something else. Because like, I'm not gonna like this. Like, I really thought in my head, I'm like, if they're gonna go that route, I'm not gonna like that. I just don't know why. No. But the ghost thing for me don't fit into this. Like, you know, it's just like it just, I don't want, like, I think that's too much of a different genre jump to go into to the ghost supernatural.
I mean, they could have done the whole Joyce is going kind of crazy situation,
which was funny. Like, which was funny with that reference with the that's a little pot calling the kettle black with the
when she was saying that this guy's a little strange. Yeah.
And he's like, really? Like you? Like, which is so true because seasons 1 and 2, man. She's bats, man.
She's a great actress, man. She's come a long way, man. She's come a long way, and I'm glad she's back. To be honest.
Yeah, they brought her back. They brought her.
No,
you know who else they brought back? And me and Omega met him at one of these cons.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Go ahead, say.
The mayor, Huey Lewis.
Oh yes, yeah. You know what? I was telling my wife that we were watching. Like, we met. And again, okay, she never saw Never Ending Story, and she didn't really remember that. Until I told her, and it's good, but it's sad. It's like, of course, same thing with the Princess Bride. We have the same battle. She's not a big Princess Bride fan, but
God,
but at least
what is wrong?
At least Robin Hood Men in Tights fan. So I had to use that. Come on, babe. Robin Hood. She's like, oh yeah, that's right. We did meet him. I'm like, yeah, we did. Remember?
No, it's that guy. Yeah,
remember, he was trying to get us out of there as fast as possible.
Yeah, no,
he's a super nice
guy.
No,
but I was with MSK and his wife and his kid and my wife, and like they had $20. Yeah, all of you were like, we were even shocked. We figured like, it's a selfie. Like, oh yeah, we have to like 2 of us. We're like, she's like, no, all of you. So he's talking and he's laughing. He's like, all right, let's take the pictures. Like, yeah. He's like, wait, all of you at once? Like, whatever. And he gave this look. Me and MSK were making jokes about later to his agent. Like, I told you to stop this. Like if I can hear, if I can hear what his look was saying, like, stop giving it away. Like.
5 people, man. 5 people in one. I thought it was gonna be a little bit more, but $20 was like, all right,
$20
cool.
for all 5. I was like, this is awesome. Princess Bride, like, as you wish. Take the picture.
Yeah. It was awesome. I thought he was a great villain. I thought he was great as that annoying mayor character.
It's like $20, inconceivable. Like, I don't think that word means what you think it means. But yeah, dude, he was awesome as that mayor. I mean, he played that role perfect, man. The a-hole, mayor with the. I mean, he got punched good by Joy, and the beating that Harper gave him in the office. Oh, and then she unplugged his phone. Who you calling? The cops? Like, the way she unplugged her.
Yeah. That's crazy. He would say, "I'm tired of that. You lost your daughter thing."
Yeah, like, man. Like, wow, insane.
He's insane.
That was rough. I didn't think they'd write that in there. That was like, that's such a low blow that even an a-hole like him, I don't know, man. That was awesome. That's low. But yeah, that's why it makes you easily hate him. It would have been awesome if he would have gotten eaten by the Mind Flayer. And you know what? I'm gonna say a little disappointed that they pulled back on the large scale. You kind of felt that thing was heading towards the fair. When the little girl, when Mike's little sister saw from the ferry to the bush, I'm like, wow. I'm like, wow, this is gonna get big. Like this is about to go nuts. And then like
these people are wasting
I think they're saving that
on CGI.
Also CGI. You're right.
Yeah, that's true too.
For sure.
They're the wolves. That the Mind Flayer is the wolf from it's Ghost from Game of Thrones. Like, that's too much. Boy. That's too much. We can't do that. No, we gotta hold back on that one. But no, man, it was great. And then the fireworks. That was nice that Lucas had his moment, and which you knew he was gonna have it when he told her. And that's another one. She's gonna get her powers back, right? Like, do you think season 4 is gonna deal with a lot of her having no powers?
No, she'll get it back.
She'll get it back, but I think it's gonna be toward maybe the middle or the end of season. Like, season 4 is not gonna start with her getting powers. I don't think.
I think we were all hoping that Will would get powers at some point. Like, I really was. Like, just that little tingle in the back of his neck is his little spider senses of just feeling the presence of, and just that too. Like, my superpowers, I only feel this one particular creature when it's around. Like,
hey, that's all you need. That's all you need, especially in that town.
Yeah, in that situation. Good for him.
Yeah, he has more Spidey sense than Spider-Man at this point.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. But it's always funny when she's like, always like, open this jar of pickles for me. Like, every time they can't get a door open or whatever, they're like, 11. Like,
yeah, they used her. That scene with her and Billy was intense, man.
Yeah, that was a great scene. And then when Mike jumped in.
Actually, I just remembered one thing about Billy. Did you guys laugh when he was talking to Karen, right? Mike's mom. Uh-huh. And she was like kind of trying to see how he was doing and if he was okay. Yeah. And he just slammed her in the wall. Oh yeah. And she dies, right? And you're like, what the hell? Exactly. And it was just in his mind.
Yeah, that one caught me off guard. Yeah. That one did. I thought he killed her. Yeah, I was like, what?
I thought he killed her, man. And that scene was like, whoa, what the hell?
I got real dark really fast. like wow. Yeah. Like, this is really getting.
Speaking of Billy, how did you guys feel about his character in this season? Like,
by the end,
everything that happened with him.
I think it was cool. I mean, personally, MSK. How do you feel with the specifically? I don't know if Yopi's is getting at that, but with the end with the way she like went into his memory and all that, and they kind of justify.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was a good villain, and they set him up as. I mean, I hated him in season 2.
Yeah.
I just like screw that guy. But you kind of saw a little bit of why he was like that because of his dad in season 2,
and his whole mom,
and then you know, I kind of wish they kind of revisit that just so you could remember kind of like how messed up his life was before they turned him full on villain, because they turned him full on villain the first episode.
Yeah,
right away. Right away.
The end of the first episode, he was already, you know, we never saw real Billy until the very last scene.
Yeah.
So I kind of wish they kind of built him up maybe 2-3 episodes before they turn him full on villain, kind of to give him some of the like humanity a little bit, to see more of that. That way, when you do see 11, see him as a little kid, it pays off a little bit more. And then you see Max, you know, really sad that he dies.
Yeah, maybe
you know.
maybe if there was a hint of that dropped a little bit. I mean, I'm not sure. I don't remember. I know there wasn't like a good relationship with the dad mentioned in season 2 a little bit, but again,
he was abusive. His dad was abusive.
Yeah, and it didn't feel like a prime enough example to like excuse him. You know what I mean? Like it didn't feel like enough.
Being the way he is, right?
It didn't feel like enough. And then this one did that, but like you said, it did do it a little bit on the later side. You know what it is? They're really banking on the intelligence of the viewer. Like, hey, we're gonna yada yada some stuff. You do the deep thinking.
Of course.
But I get it. It doesn't have the impact that it should at the moment because I'm not thinking that deep while I'm watching. You know what I mean? Like I can go back and, you know, reanalyze it and see it there. But I just think that was very well done, the way at least that specific scene. And, you know, they showed it, like, you know, showed him and she talked about his mom and all that. And it did go to show you, I mean, he did kind of, I mean, that's the thing, that he really bullied his sister a lot. And that's kind of the one where you feel almost unforgivable. It's like, I get why you're bullied to other people, but like, that's what, like, especially season 2 is like the way he treated Max was like, you know, it's like that's what really made him a bad guy, because at least,
and that's the thing, that's the thing, we never got a scene of him treating, not even like in his mind, like treating Max kindly. At one, like you see him meeting her, but that's it. Like, maybe if we got maybe a scene of that, considering the fact that the whole season she was worried about him. Yeah, she was worried about her brother,
and you kind of don't get it, other than her own kindness, but not that they actually had a decent bond between the two of them. So
I think they could have made that a little bit better.
Yeah, that's the only thing that you guys touched on. That's the only thing that I felt like they really could have touched on more on for me, was his sister and himself, because it was such a, I don't know, it was so dry. She was able to change so fast. This is your brother and he's a bad guy. Okay, cool. Let's try to get him. Like it was like, no, that's your brother. Think about it. That's your brother.
Like you're gonna kill it. Like I felt like she should have got more in a fight with the friends for it. Like you're gonna kill my brother. You know, especially since she's never really seen like the full, you know, whole thing, what's going on with the Upside Down and everything that's happened. She's never seen the whole thing, the whole picture. You know, they just wanted to kill her brother because he's a villain now and they know what's going on, but she doesn't really know what's going on. So she should have fought it a little bit more, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they could have hashed out a bit more. Yeah. I'm just going to take a quick break here. I want to remind everyone, we mentioned in the last episode, again, on August 10th.
Commercials? Are we doing commercials? What's happening here?
That was a hard break. That was a hard break.
But yeah, so August 10th, Sunrise Comic-Con. We're paneling 3 tables. I will say one of the panels we're doing is retro Saturday morning cartoons, nostalgia. So we'll be talking the same stuff, like almost like we said, Yo Peace and I last week with the Spider-Man. I could see us definitely talking, you know, things that are going to be Stranger Things-ish, in the concept of like how the nostalgia of the cartoons we watched growing up and stuff like that, and how parents, you know, watch that stuff with their kids now, and they're rebooting it, rehashing it, all that. One of them was also iconic villains of sci-fi and fantasy, and Stranger Things got a couple. You got a couple interesting villains there, so throw it out there. You get to be, if you show up, you can go to sunrisefl.gov/Comic-Con. It's going to be Saturday, August 10th from 12 to 7. $10 tickets for the adults, $7 for the kids. Again, August 2nd, and you can come out and be part of our podcast, be in the audience and throw out your favorite cartoons. We'll talk some MCU stuff and iconic villains and sci-fi fantasy and all that good stuff. So just wanted to get
I heard you say August 2nd. It's August 10th. I don't know why
August 10th. Oh, sorry, I said 2nd. August 10th.
Yep.
Just trying to trick people.
August 10th.
Oh, August. Sorry. August 2nd is when you have to buy the tickets online before they go up in price. Sorry, that's what it is. August 2nd, that's the date.
Check. Okay, cool.
Before August 2nd, you can get those $10 tickets and those $7 tickets.
There you go. And while we're at it, since we're going to do commercials, I'm going to do my own commercial. and I'm gonna let you know where you can reach us. So you can actually go to fanaticallycorrect.com, where you can listen to our previous episodes there with Podbean, Google Play, any pod for Alexa or Echo. We are on Spotify, we're on Google, we're on iOS, and if you can, just kind of review us there, especially on iTunes and on Podbean. Again, our website is fanaticallycorrect.com. Our @ handle at Twitter and Instagram is FanCorrect, and then we have our Facebook and our MeWe, which is Fanatically Correct. So if you want, you can also email us at contactfancor@gmail.com, or leave us a voicemail. Phone number 786-704-8404. But please,
Yeah.
do not call us long distance, because
no calls from Russia, no calls from the Upside Down. We're not
please,
accepting.
guys, please do not do that.
Especially not the Upside Down.
We don't have money.
Yeah.
We don't have money.
And a good past episode to listen to would probably be MSK did the research. Apparently, we've talked about Stranger Things before in other episodes, so go back and track.
Yeah,
and see if we're consistent
it's
with
the
what we
Doctor
think.
Stranger Things episode. We
That's
talked
right.
about Doctor Strange
right.
and Stranger Things in one episode.
Yeah, I think it started. It was supposed to be a review of Doctor Strange, but we had just finished Stranger Things, and that kind of just took over the topic, and that's what we can mix it.
Oh,
up.
I do want to
it's
bring
such a great series.
I want to bring up one thing about that episode. Omega, you brought up that you wanted Will to have his powers and kind of go off and kind of fight 11 at one point.
Yeah, because it was end of season 1 where he spit the thing or whatever into the sink and like and which was end up being the demi-dog or whatever. And like I really thought that they were gonna go that route, and then it almost be like the friends have to choose the friend that they originally had. Yeah, but he's bad now. And basically, almost have this Billy moment.
You guys are terrible. That's a terrible show. I don't want to see that.
It's a terrible show.
Terrible show. You guys are breaking up friendships and everything. Like, what is this?
No, I don't.
What
I don't
is this?
I'm just saying that they feel that way because, like, you know, he'd be, and which he
we're like Joyce.
Did.
We're like Joyce.
Yeah, he
was
a
Civil War in Stranger Things,
but it wasn't of his own control. Is, you know, based on how I was going. So they did kind of do it, but like I was hoping that it was going to be more like him. You know what I mean? Like more him and less like possessed him. You know, more
right. Of course,
became dark or something. Because I thought it would have been an interesting. You know, dynamic.
He's so jealous that everybody's paying attention to 11 that he actually goes at her. That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
he goes
listen,
Carrie,
it could it could happen. They could
prom.
do the whole Carrie thing the next season, and you know, especially that 11 and Will live together, right? It would be like a brother sister dynamic.
Oh, you guys are terrible. I don't want to see the show. I really hope.
I know that season will be terrible. That season will be
do not write this show
we're not writing
to the writers. Do not write this show.
Yeah, don't listen to us, Duffer Brothers. You know what you're doing. You know exactly what you're doing.
Exactly. Yeah, we appreciate your hard work in this cast of kids that are all extremely talented, and let's not worry about it.
Speaking of appreciating hard work, there's a lot of people hating on this season more than all the other seasons. Just want to let you know this.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that?
Yeah, you shared some stuff with us, and I've had several conversations personally with people about their displeasure with Game of Thrones. I have not had that conversation with anybody about Stranger Things, and it's all the same people, and they're all like, I'm hearing a lot like what I'm saying, favorite season. I'm hearing a lot, oh, it's so good, I can't wait to season 4. But the point is that I have yet to personally have this. I've sung the Never Ending Story chorus like several times with people, but I've yet to actually personally hear someone have hate for it. But then there's an online presence, probably the same people in the Storm Area 51, out of their minds, because I don't get it. I just don't. I don't.
Yeah. I mean, I think the big and Yopis, we talked about it a little bit last night. The whole thing with Evan Rachel Wood, what she said about it, and I think that started the whole maybe hate on the show. And
I don't agree with any of that. I don't agree with any of that.
I don't agree with the hate either. I mean, her original comment is all right, fine, that's your opinion, but at that point, as a fan, you're just gonna have to be like, all right, whatever, that's her opinion, but this show's still great.
Yeah, she's entitled to it, but I don't. Yeah, I personally just thought it was great. I think it's just capturing the '80s style. That's Harper's character. He obviously written to be, very much in love with Joyce's character, and that's just. And again, it was that partner banter. At that point, when I guess he's being aggressive or whatever, is during they're like partners, like and that's what he says, like detective.
It's
whatever.
The buddy cop. It's the buddy cop situation when you get one hot-headed partner, and then the other one that's kind of like a cool and calm.
The plucky, calm,
it's a lethal weapon. One. That's what it is. It's
lethal weapon. Yeah. We're just missing Joyce saying, "I'm getting too old for this crap." Like that's all we're missing.
So going back to her comment, like it's her opinion, and the thing that I'm seeing though, it's not really much of people hating on his character. I mean, obviously that's a big group out there for that, but there's people just hating on the actual season itself, as in the season is not better than 2 and 1, and it's only getting worse. It's that's what's happening out there.
Yeah, I've read it's going on a decline or whatever or something like that. Yeah. The ratings, and I'm like,
which is crazy. Which is crazy.
I don't know what you've heard about the ratings, because it broke all records for Netflix. It's like its highest rated stream.
Breaking records and seeing the critics, and not mainly the critics, but the fan side of saying what they felt about it. It's a different thing, and most of it, I'm not gonna lie, most of it is coming from the Rotten Tomatoes, which I don't understand. I don't understand why you go to these websites to actually try to figure out if you're gonna like something or not. You understand?
Culture. Like, I think they're just mad they didn't find a Starbucks cup on a table in a scene, and they get to have that moment. Yeah. So to the extent, which is I gotta tell you, but it's frustrating for me because I still punish myself and put myself through torture of watching Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead. I mean, there's some such garbage, like they had a guy shoot a sword to split a bullet into 2 and kill 2 walkers at the same time. I'm not kidding. This is the kind of stuff happening on that show, and they're eating it up. They're eating it up, and they love it, because that's my point. Is like I don't understand they can have fake love for that and not trash that. No, man, obviously I love it so much. I keep talking trash about it. I'm just invested. I'm just invested in it.
Stop talking about The Walking Dead.
Oh, hey, no. Side note with the comic book thing, that's pretty crazy.
I thought we were ready on a side note.
Hold on. No, a side note from that, the comic book of The Walking Dead. MSK, I think, knows about it. Yo, Peace, you saw what happened with the Walking Dead comic book?
That is ending.
It ended.
No, it's done.
It's issue 199. Okay. It printed. The guy comes out, because we're talking about this hate culture of like hating things as they end. And I think this has to do with why he did it. He said, it's because I didn't like that. And I was nervous when the issue would come out when I was a kid. And I didn't want it to get overpublished and all this stuff. Like, nah, man, I think it was what happened with Game of Thrones, what's happening now. This was Stranger Than Happened. And he was like, no, not doing it. What we're going to do is print it. People will read it. And then he just came out the next day like, hey, by the way, that issue you just read, last one. Hope you enjoyed it. Like, deuces.
Nice. That's awesome.
That's awesome. It didn't say nothing. Like, genius. You know why? Because they were all loving it. And then right when he sees everyone's loving, like, wow, this is crazy. I don't know what they're going to do next. And then he comes out the last one. So now what? Everyone's going to turn on a dime and say, oh, no, that was horrible. That was crap. This is a horrible story. And not too late now. You already loved it. Shut up. I win. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? That's what he did. So, I mean, I think that's what shows are going to have to do now. Stranger Things should say they're going to do 7 more, and the next season be the last one. And when it's over, people I can't wait to see. Like, nice try. It's over. Over.
I think part of it is that people, they're watching these your favorite shows, and they don't want to see it go. So, they're going to hate that it's leaving, and they put that hate toward the actual ending of the show, even if it's a good ending. They're going to hate on it. I don't know.
You know what show would have had a massive problem nowadays?
Lost?
Quantum Leap.
Huge.
Yeah, people would have hated that for sure. People would have hated that.
Yeah.
Yep. If
I look back,
if Tomatoes meme culture existed then,
I look back and I'm like, it's such a great ending that people would have hated on it so much.
You know what? Much. And I'm sure. It's crazy.
Well, moving on from things that are hated to things that are loved, I guess let's do a necessity. Are we gonna go with Never Ending Story, or you guys got something better? I mean, we really didn't dive deep into anything. I think Never Ending Story is a good one. I don't know how my wife has not seen that. She's got to be forced to see it.
Is that really a necessity though?
I mean, I think it's just a necessity for Omega to get his wife to watch it.
Yeah, that's an Omega necessity. That's an Omega necessity.
Wife necessity. Wife necessity. It's a wife necessity.
It's Land Before Time. That's the
okay, cool. All right. No, actually, I gotta go back and watch it. Honestly, I'm gonna go back and watch it. I don't remember Land of Time. It's something about it like.
Yeah, like, and I'll watch. I mean, look, do the necessity of Never-Ending Story, and then maybe I'll watch it again because I hadn't seen it since I was a kid, and I remember it.
I think you should wait a little longer to watch it. You know what I mean with your kid, because I just don't feel if you don't remember it well or it resonating much when you were a kid. I think that it won't hold the same.
Probably
hold the same to you as an adult. I don't think for my wife it's gonna work the same for her to see it now.
So watch it.
She's gonna fall asleep.
As kids.
Watch it with me.
Probably will.
Watch
it. Oh no, you're gonna be there too. And have your kids already seen Never-Ending Story? Yo piece.
Yes.
Have your kids seen?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
I would think. Yeah, I don't know because sometimes they skip certain movies. They didn't. How long before Princess Bride? They seen Princess Bride?
Yeah, I think my daughter has seen it. I'm not sure about my son though. But I think my daughter has.
I think he needs to be a little older because a lot of the jokes you have to be like the right age. You know what I mean? Like I think like 8 or 9. Yep. Yeah, it has great action stuff like that. But there's some jokes that you got. This guy have a little bit more maturity to really. I mean, as an adult, it's great. I mean, watching it later on again as an adult, but the first time you watch it as a kid, I think like 7 or 8 is kind of that sweet spot depending on maturity level. And then any age after that is like it just gets better and better each time you watch and you're older and you can get certain jokes. But I think like it's like I would Never-Ending Story. I think it's so cheesy and campy that, and like I think I had this conversation with MSK. Is like with the CGI, like kids are so spoiled now. You know what I mean? Like kids are so spoiled now with how good things are that if they've already seen things like Spider-Man: Far From Home and Infinity War, and even like whatever this new Mary Poppins, I'm sure the effects in that are out of hand. Like any of this stuff. I mean, the Lion King that's about to come out, the CGI is sick in that. You know what I mean? It's like, how are you gonna watch Never-Ending Story after seeing that stuff?
That movie magic feel thing, it's out of the door already. We're really probably losing it. There's only certain directors that are actually still doing things like that. I don't think that's gonna be anything in the future. Like, I don't think kids will actually feel anything towards those old movies and what they mean as the movie industry. And what they were and how hard it was to actually be an actor and filming and doing all these things. I think all that's being lost. I hope not, because I know there's a new look, like, you know what I mean, like there's a new feel for the film industry and everything is being done. It's still hard. I'm not saying it's easy. Obviously, like, you need to know how to do it. Like, it's a craft. Right. It's a skill that you really need to learn it and be able to do it. But I think a lot of it, of the old school things, I don't think they will really care about it. And I think we're moving into a point where everything is going to be hated on, even if it's great. It's just a thing. It's just a thing now. Like, it could be amazing, and it's still hated on just because. Yeah.
So I mean, I'm gonna say it outright. Look, I mean, instead of getting in depth on one. Just a quick rerun over of the movies I mentioned. I'll start with Super 8, and that's a Spielberg, so you can't go wrong with that. And the effects are good.
Spielberg and Abrams.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Bad Robot. It's a Bad Robot. It is. I'll start with Super 8. Great movie. That one holds up because it's not dated. But it does the whole nostalgia thing with the kid story. But just for the sake of the story, like, just watch it as an adult and pay attention to the story, not so much the CGI, the effects. If you have kids, great, introduce them to this stuff. But down the list again, Goonies. That has to be in your repertoire. Stand By Me has to be in for sure. in your history. Yes. Lost Boys,
especially for season 1.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. When it comes to Stranger Things. Lost Boys. Yes, it's the Coreys. It's all that. But Kiefer Sutherland, which is also in Stand By Me. That guy plays a villain a lot in the 80s before playing Jack Bauer, the hero. But yeah, I mean, Monster Squad is another great one that, it tells a little bit cheesier of the other ones. Flight of the Navigator is fantastic, and the whole sibling relationship in that and everything. E.T., of course. I mean, they won't get rid of that ride at Universal Studios. It is the most dated ride, I think, in all parks right now, and that's not going anywhere. Little Monsters is fantastic. Same thing. It deals with like a sibling relationship. Actually, both Fred and his little brother, Corey from Boy Meets World, is also in. He plays his little brother. Labyrinth is a great one. I mean, David Bowie, the music in that, the puppeteering of Hanna-Barbera, Jim Henson, all that is incredible. Explorers, yes, it gets cheesy with the aliens, but great performances by a very young River Phoenix and Ethan Hawke, and So
just to be clear, your nerdcessity is every 80s movie.
Yes, that's it. I'm not going into deep. Okay. I'm just giving everything into the 80s. Yeah, The Wizard, and I don't care what these guys say. Land Before Time. Watch it with a kid. You'll love it. It's great stuff. Yeah. They have a million sequels. I'm gonna throw
in Adventures in Babysitting because Steve's whole thing is it's that story. It's that movie. That's what it is.
Yeah. So not an in-depth. Just like you watch Stranger Things. If you don't understand the nostalgia because you're younger than we are or you're older than we are, and that just wasn't your era, but you do love this show because obviously it has a huge audience. Watch some of those and you'll get it. I mean, you'll really get it, and you'll probably enjoy it more now. Because I think you should watch all of them. I don't know how. That should be on everyone's list, whether you like them or not. You have to have at least one time in your repertoire. So I think that's a good way to wrap it up because
that's a good necessity.
Never-ending story.
Yeah, so that's a good necessity. Basically, watch the 80s, relive the 80s.
Turn around, look at what you see. That's so great. Never-ending story. Well, that's Omega, and I'm saying peace.
MSK, peace out.
Yo, peace. Peters.
And there you have it, folks. This has been Phonetically Correct. Until next time, you crazy kids. Signing off.
So, watch like Back to the Future, Willow, Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink.
Yep.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah. Wait, real quick. Wait, hold on. We didn't. Omega. Omega, hold on. Yopis, what was your favorite season of Stranger Things?
Now was my favorite of Stranger Things. Now, huh? Yeah, keep going with the 80s. Keep going with the 80s, sir.
Terminator 2, of course. No, I don't.
I'll just leave it at this. It's season 3.
What was that?